All right, hey everyone, it's Rodin, and welcome to Eve Station Trading, episode 33. All right, it is patch day. Oh my god, it's patch day. So right now, what's going on is moon mining changes have been applied. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. What does that really mean for the market for the most part? Honestly, not a whole lot. I prepared the stuff last yesterday already, and there's nothing crazy that's going on right now. Not that wasn't already obvious from the last few weeks, honestly. So speculation's over. Uh, Basically, all that tech to Moon Goo stuff. Yeah, whatever. It's done. Kind of curious just to see actually real quick. Let's take a look. Caps trying to be so far. Chaps keep asking me to take on the Balgorn fleet and the frigate. Yes, yes. On this very day, on patch day, basically there's a new seed of moon materials and what types of moons are available. Basically, that whole thing's been reshuffled, right? And what used to be moon mining, where you can draw out the materials through process, doesn't exist. Now you have to create the moon refineries, and it's basically a rush to build them, and a rush to plant them. Okay. Take a quick look. It's a quick browse. This is a bit. I'll start off with a quick browse through the advanced moon materials. See what's going on out there. Actually, raws might be better. Raws a little bit too much. Actually, no. Raws will give us a better picture. Raws will give us a better picture. Let's do a quick browse of raws. Basically, I'm imagining that a lot of them will see a slight to really high, a slight bump at the very least, because of simply the new supply doesn't exist anymore. Whatever enters the market, from this point onward, will either have to be from storage, effectively, right, or drawn up from new materials, from new moon materials, from new refineries. Imagining either a sideways movement or increase in value. Nothing should be dropping, I would imagine. Just as I say that, we hit chromium. Yeah, a bunch of nothing. Nothing should be too crazy right now. Not yet. Not yet. This, bro. Oh my god. Mm, Nothing really peaks right now. Next week might give us a better picture of what's basically what's hot or not for moon materials. Yeah, nothing really crazy. Neodymium. Okay. I'm not even actually looking at the graphs. I'm looking for the volume bars. All right, silicates. Kind of weird. Kind of weird for silicates. Hopefully, I'm coming through just fine, guys. Really, a drop in tholium. That's kind of weird. Unless that 90-day crest really is. Actually, that's historic. That's coming off historic high. That actually makes sense. Titanium. It's more like a sideways movement. Tungsten. Oh my god. That's all buys. By buys, I mean like getting the material through sell orders. Same thing with vanadium. Okay. Just a quick look, guys. I don't think it's going to be anything revealing right now. Not on day one. Not on day one. People's attentions are diverted elsewhere, to be honest. Capsus DeLomo brought up a good point. It'll take time to build and roll out, and then mine and explode stuff. Yeah, it will. It will. So from this point until the first, so from this point until the first refinery is manufactured and then deployed and installed and then extracts the moon material, honestly, that'll be the first. That'll be the first, right? I mean, I actually didn't look at the production values to see if is it possible right from unresearched BPOs. How long would it take to build? I don't know. I imagine we will actually identify that. We'll identify that based on the material starting to get into the market, right? Probably be a while though. The article says tech feels undervalued. It feels undervalued for a good while, man. Take a look at it again. Tech, it's at the bottom. That's good. So it could be as long as 14 days till first asteroids are mined. That sounds about right. That runs on the assumption that the refinery doesn't get destroyed, right? Something tells me that it's the actual act of deploying the refineries. It's actually going to be pretty peaceful. It doesn't make sense to me that these large entities are going to put themselves in a position where they're going to be entering a moon material no man's land where they're going to actually have to fight. That doesn't make sense to me. Not when they can clearly organize between themselves and then figure out the fighting later. You know what I mean? It's the it's just the way the system is, guys. If you're big enough, you got lots of friends. You don't really fight in Eve anymore. You just kind of diplomacy your way through things. All right, so we'll carry on with our prediction reviews from last week. We're going to start off with wetware mainframes. So we called this as a buy last week. That was a great call, by the way. Woo, Lord. That was a great call. So you had bought wetware mainframes when we called it. You're sitting really pretty right now. Because you just entered a sell cycle. Congratulations for entering a sell cycle of wetware mainframes. In a 5-day period. Not much there. Yeah. So if people just wait, I'm just curious what the pricing is now. 3 is really high. 3.5, 3.4. Yeah, that's really high. That's that's definitely historic through the history of the item. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Nice. Congratulations, whoever made money on that. Next one we call for a buy is the photonic metamaterials. Yep. Good call. We called it right here as well. I was actually hesitant to call that one because it was going sideways. I wish there was like a vertical line that actually matched up the volume bar to the median bar or to the median circle. It looks like there was a buy right here and I just spiked up. 24, 27, that's a lot. Garnacle sold at 3.8. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think I have some pretty reasonable calls, and a lot of them are just not, they're not based on speculation or anything. They're just chart work. I'm glad to see people actually like make money off these calls. Astronomers lock boss, we need him. You know what? I'm kind of surprised he hasn't made a comeback, at least for this like next few weeks, maybe even months, just to see the change in the economy. It's a very fundamental change in the economy. It'd be nice to actually hear about his opinion. Wait till you get to Strong. Oh my god! Actually, you know what? I'm excited now because I don't look at these last week's calls just to just keep it fresh. Oh, next one's Strong. There you go. Buys on Strong. Hmm. Went down. Okay. All right. So bad call on Strong. Ooh. Still technically a buy. It's just a better buy now than it was last week. That's a shame. Okay. Not too bad. It's a better buy now than last week. That's fine. We'll still keep going down. I don't know. What's stopping? What's gonna cause the floor on Strand? I imagine that there's gonna be, if the refineries do get threatened, it's gonna have to. It's gonna be caps on the field. I imagine so. The floor should be either right at this line or pretty soon. Regardless, a lot of people pulling towers down and selling. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm kind of well, yeah. I mean, so the towers physically are still there, though, aren't they? I didn't even think about that. The towers are physically still there. I wonder if they'll, because you can still scan it with the tower being there. Can you buy yourself time by having an active tower in there and basically staking your, kind of like saving your spot? At least until your refinery is done? Yeah, I guess so, right? Garner, there's a lot of stock left over from pulling reaction chains down. Yep, you speculate a moon goo, but you just dump straight. You dump Strawn straight into the market. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess the idea of the towers acting as a placeholder for the refineries. I don't know. I don't know. Guys, towers are still up in my system. Like, yeah, yeah. It's not like CCP just made them go away, right? Oh, okay. The engineering tower structure is a different spot to the tower. So could you have a POS now that was once moon mining and a refinery on the same moon? Is there value in doing that? I don't know. I don't know if there's any value in doing that. All right, now moving on to our cells. We called out racial carbides for cells. So we took a quick glance on the raw materials for moons. Now we're going to look at advanced moon materials, specifically the carbides. I imagine, yeah, I mean, they're just continuing to go up, or at least in the case of crystalline carbide, it's starting to go sideways. Yeah, makes sense, right? Not that one, sorry. Ferrite carbide continuing to go up. Makes sense. Titanium, more like moving sideways. Tungsten, definitely moving sideways. Okay, but none of them dropped. Makes sense. Hey, loud noises. All right. So no surprises with the carbides. I mean, I don't think any of these will really look interesting until the first week, 2 weeks, when things start continue to be used, and they'll keep increasing. But then, folks may even be more motivated to actually hold on to their stuff just right up until like the last few days before the new stock reaches the market, right? If it even reaches the market, I imagine that the Moongoo economy will basically stay local until it becomes a surplus in and of itself, I imagine. I mean, that only makes sense, right? Unless a group has a refinery and they don't actually do anything with it and they just dump it right to the market. It's kind of a shame though when that happens. All right, cells from Machariel. Yep, could call them Machariels. It's right here. Continue to go up. It's finally going sideways though. It's moving sideways. Is it actually gonna start reversing? Hard to say. Hard to say. I'll take the side. I think a sideways movement is much more realistic, especially with the new refineries that are out now. There's probably going to be demand for offensive fleets. So unless they have a large stock of Machariels or great frontline DPS ships already, Machariel is probably a good choice. But is it too expensive to do that now? I don't know. I don't know. Garnacles, just quietly, darkness are dumping Machariels and swapping the TFIs. Yeah, why not? Why not? Oh man, insider trading from Garnacle. We just started doing buybacks. I for them to so expect to get dumped at some point. Oh man, I actually want to make a lesson on how to do buybacks. At least on the style on how I do them. Lazy mode, but big money. I might do that this weekend actually. And last one of our prediction reviews, Harbinger Navy issue. I don't think I've ever actually used this ship. Still continuing to go up. Okay. I think it's finally hit the crust though. That's good. Alright, so it was a good call. It was a good call to sell it. It was still going up. Probably like right around here. Low volume though, so it is what it is. Hey Akulo, what's up man? It's funny that Succubus is the cheapest pirate frigate. I've never used well, I use the Phantasm personally, just because I have it. I just have it. How much it costs right now? It's hit rock bottom price, or I shouldn't say that. Where the moving averages meet. 45 to 48. That's pretty close to. Oh, no, Star so high. Oh my god. Gramiel, it's been sitting there forever. That's kind of high for Daredevil. That's kind of high for Crewer. That's really high for Garber. Yeah, that's definitely the cheapest. Everything else increased in price minus the succubus. Look at that. Cap says, remember, big money. Trading little money right now. Yeah. Kuru got way more popular with Faction Warfare for some reason. Weird. At least in my pocket, for Faction Warfare space, it's been pretty quiet. I mean, I swapped over to destroyers, and I can't remember last time I got a fight that Algos. To be honest, that's what I've been using. But then I'm kind of like really dead in pockets. So. Uncle says, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Tonya, let's live. That'd be nice. Might get a nerf." Is that really a surprise, though? I mean, when a ship gets really good for PvE and PvP, and be alpha capable, I mean, come on, it's too much. It's too much. A long time coming, though, to be honest. And a proper nerf, not like the Vex, like the Tech 1 Vexer losing 100 power grid. That's a real nerf. That's man nerf right there. That's good. Something like that befalling the VNI would actually balance it. Not just like, oh, I just have to use slightly less, a meta fitting. But then like minus 100 power grid on an alpha character, dude, that's a lot. Let's see if Orthros gets a nerf as well. I can't remember the last time I saw an Orthros in the field. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. I can't even remember the last time I saw Garmer. Alright, so let's lay on one thing. Alright, so moving on. I just want to do a quick thing. Just a quick Alliance promo. Just want to put the word out there. So I'm in Valkyrie Knights, and we actually have a high sec wing of our alliance. It's a UI Federation Academy, and basically from there, it's a place to train folks into getting used to living in nullsec with us, the UI Federation Alliance in Providence. And so far, we've been getting some really solid numbers in membership there. I just want to put the word out there that they exist, that we do have a high sec wing, and check it out if you guys are interested. And type out our alliance name there, and Bullis says, do we have SRP? The high sec folks, the high sec wing, I'm not sure they do, because there wouldn't be a need for it. They don't really get into war for now. As I say that, probably all the war deck entities with large roll decks are probably letting us know what's up right now. Yes, I'm interested, but I'm high maintenance. My trader, like Robro's actually in that alliance, the Life Federation Academy. So, actually, I think we are at war. I think we're at war with Pirate right now. So that's good. Keeps folks engaged and hopefully not dying too much. I've actually been in alliances that had like feeder corps, but I've experienced that mostly in the low sec context. It makes sense actually for when I did that one. At the time, it was a faction warfare corp alliance that kind of fed into a large low sec entity. It made sense, honestly, from an SP perspective. It made sense. It was a great place to be and start learning the tactics and how things kind of just generally work in low sec. Who says, well, once outposts go faction, it'll be open season on Provi. Hope so. I imagine I'd be very surprised. I think that's one of the few things that you kind of can't diplo your way out of. I, I don't see I don't see how you can diplo your way out of that. Like in any other if that were to happen into any other large entity, like proper size coalition, you could probably lessen the blow through diplomacy. But in Provi, just the very nature of Provi, the very nature of NRDS, it's probably not gonna work. Yeah, but that's just a quick shout out to the UI Federation Academy. Yeah, check us out. It's a pretty good group. Definitely active with the CTAs and stuff, and the support that you get transitioning from HiSec to Providence. Of course, Providence being, it's just a little different. If you are interested, it's not, not red don't shoot. So it's not just oh my god, there's a new system, kill it, kill it, kill it. No, it's not like that. It's the complete opposite. So think of every other nullsec kind of way of doing things, and then there's the Provi way of doing things, which is unique. I think it's a cool thing to experience at least once. Cap says maybe real mercenaries will come back instead of this gang stuff. Like more organized control, is that what you mean, Cap? Like proper like mafia stuff, like splitting territories, stuff like that. A loud noises can show plex, sure. Hasn't changed from last week, not a whole lot. 3.1. I sold at between 3.1 3.2 or somewhere around there. Starting to pick up. It's starting to pick up. The 20-day moving average is starting to trend upwards instead of just moving sideways, so that's a good sign. Bought it at 2.8. That's good, man. Yeah, I bought at 2.9, sold at like 3.15, somewhere around there. Oh, mercenary code. Yeah, I don't know, Kev. I mean, I think we're in that point where, like, is there value in having those types of hardcore values as opposed, like, kind of like, behavior traits as opposed to just, predominantly Eve's more casual now. I mean, alphas make it casual. Sorry, guys. But, I mean, it's what it is. Loud Noise says, I haven't been subbed since spring. Realized I wasn't playing. Should have a decent nest egg 18 billion if I ever come back. Nice. What else did I want to cover before we go? Oh, yeah. I just, as far as types of players you're looking for, I mean, anything really. Even if you're just mostly PV, that's good. If you're definitely looking for PvP, like ever since I joined, it's been great because I've had an opportunity to participate in coalition level fleets and stuff. Like I've never done that, up until now, honestly. So I've been a low sec scrub all these years. Cass, yeah, I kind of gave up on old values. Always such a good thing. There was so much more RP value though when people took the game more seriously, right? Like these days, just oh, is there fleet? Oh, is there ships on contract? Oh, there isn't. Okay, later. The heck. Oh, there's most like definitely isn't scrub. I was a solo guy. Like I literally flew an Atron in Tristan for 2 years. That's all I flew. Like literally for 2 years. It was great. I just think low sec's going to be the key over the next 6 months. Why low sec, Cap? I'm talking about because of the R64 shakeup. I mean, I don't know what the new, like moon value shakeup ended up being. So I honestly don't know. Uh, as a did lowsec have a net increase of valuable moons? I mean, to be honest, it's kind of irrelevant whether they did or not. It all depends on who has more immediate reach of it, right? Like which large who's which large entity is closest to it and can claim it like right now. There's been a decrease. Oh, that sucks. It's a tactical bridge. Maybe we'll see. I'm really curious to see how the tactical and greater strategic picture shapes up, especially with who ends up owning what and what motivates people to actually get their fleets together and attack based on. I mean, it's economic reasons. I mean, it's just what it is, right? It's economic reasons. It's great. Well, the CCP said they buff moons in border systems. Okay. I'm sure someone in the near future will have a very, very large spreadsheet of where all the moons are. You low set control and can ally without losing control, yeah. Oh, I did want to make a thing real quick. So, I'm definitely establishing myself more in Providence, and I think I'm really, really close to being able to present like Providence, such at least my own North like region, right? Like I can't account for other people's regions. Like a Providence market picture, and I was kind of developing that idea the last few days, but it kind of hit me that I would have to present it not without relying on just the market window, because a lot of the interactions, the trading doesn't really happen in the open market. What do I mean by that? Like a lot of stuff happens contracts, inter alliance, maybe even from one alliance to another for very specific jobs, stuff like that. It feels a lot more like, maybe this is the wrong way of of describing it, but Nosec markets feel more like mom and pop shops. At least where I'm at, it feels more like mom and pop shops. Market PvP is easy, probably just sell sensor boosters. Really, bro? Really? Sensor boosters? What? Yeah, but they feel like mom and pop shops to me. Like my own operation just sitting in Jita is way bigger than at least what I can perceive to be people's market activities that end up in the open market, the general public market in Providence. It feels small. It feels like uh, it just doesn't even become publicly visible because they're alliance level contracts, they're courier contracts from like one wealthy guy to another wealthy guy. It just never becomes public. Everyone knows our favorite Provi doctrine has at least 2 sensor boosters. I have to double check my lost mail. It's cool though, and challenge that. Jita's king. Ludwig says Jita's king. I've always believed that the most money is made on contracts. The proof is in the contracts. I can. In the next episode, I'll take snapshots at least of the contract market. Actually, probably as a region, maybe a bad sample case for this, but like right now, I started with about 5 bill on sell orders. Like I think 3 days ago. I think I'm down to a bit over 3. So my stuff is moving. However, I can tell you as a matter of fact that at least in the main market in Provi, like I'm like the new guy over there, but I'm already top dog in that public market. out of 5 bill. What? It's crazy. That's cheap. That's a very, very low investment, you know? Like really, really low. Like I've spent more buying up I don't know. I mean, buying up Machariels on a whim in Jita versus planning for what to buy and sell in Provi, you know, because it's a small market. Caps all of Nosec is small because they concentrate on blowing shit up and only making stuff they need. The making stuff they need doesn't even happen though, Cap. At least it never makes it beyond that immediate alliance. I mean, I feel very, very compelled to actually cover this. I'm probably gonna, yeah, that's probably better to do it that way. They need free trade, but there is free trade, Cap. There's Fortizars and shit, and you know what I mean. There's Fortizars in great availability in nullsec, but does it get used for that? I don't know. Not like perimeter or Nuclear gets used. No. Heikin economics and null. I don't know, man. It's like mom and pop bartering. It's literally like caveman bartering in nullsec. It's caveman bartering, dude. Like I will give you an apple for an orange. McGarnacle says, any tips on what to do with high capital 100 bill? Do you just have 100 orders up each with smallish margins? Feels like I'm struggling to get returns while staying diversified at the moment. For 100 bill, I would actually maybe, and it's kind of funny when I give this advice, but if you have that much money, don't play the market. You'll probably be better off finding people that need money to do their operations and you're backing them. Be an actual investor in people. That's what I'm saying. Like for 100, like what is it? I was talking with my alliance mates the other night about starting a buyback program, and I'm like, I just throw out numbers. And, I got like 5 bill liquid, and I'm pretty sure I can start something with that. I was like, we'll probably gonna need more than that even to just supply us locally in our pocket. Well, okay, well, how about 50 bill? And they're like, there's a silence. Like 50 bill, dude, I can get 50 bill like this. I just go on my Discord like, hey dudes, I'm doing a buyback program. Same rates as usual, but I need 50 bill. I'll have 50 bill in 10 minutes. And funnily enough, that actually happened. From one guy's like, oh, dude, you need money, man? I'll get you money, man. It's no big deal. I got you, bro. I got you. Oh my God, that'd be great if I trusted any poor people. But that's how it starts, though, right? I was a poor person that became trusted. That's the only reason people even listen to me, right? Loud Noises is how is Provi so rich? Define rich. Do you mean rich in ISK or rich in assets? Because at least in my pocket, not a lot of people are rich. Like ISK rich, no. But people are very, very asset rich from what I've seen so far in Provi. Very asset rich, don't care. Yeah, says I worked the old 60-30-10 work for the Vatican for a little while. Okay. Yeah, but definitely want to cover buyback pro. So right now, what I'm intending to do is, so I'm getting a RIA built, and I have a small fleet of transporters. So I caved and got. I am no longer a single account player, guys. I literally lasted less than 60 days. Less than 60 days as a single account player. It's terrible. And I intend to be a very active player in the Provi market, one way or another, either through buybacks or seeding or even exports. So we'll see. Thank God there's so many citadels in Providence that it's nigh impossible to lose a jump freighter when jumping through citadels. Thanks, CCP, for making your game save again. It takes effort to get your jump freighter killed now. Like way more effort. Way more effort. It's great. Oh no, I said you need ships built, let me know. That's the thing though, man. I could literally And that's something I want to address too, very specifically with my experiences in Provi so far. There's almost no value in local production in Provi because you know what? The importers will simply outpace you. They can just put stuff in the market way faster than you can build them, unfortunately. And by building, I mean like actually mining them, refining them, and building what you harvested. Local production doesn't really work in Provi. You I mean for ADM purposes, of course it does, but uh, for practical purposes, you're better off actually importing. This is unfortunate. Yeah, import. I mean, was I trying? Because I bought up a whole bunch of minerals, like on the cheap, on the cheap, man. People are giving away minerals. Like, it's just weird. I mean, I'm not sure if this is actually normal Gnostic behavior, but at least the residents of probably don't value raw materials that you normally probably should. They just like spend the market. I don't care. It's almost as if I mean, I'm something tells me that's not even probably the actual true like Provi residents. These are probably neutrals. You know, I can't be bothered because I can't actually translate it out. So I'm just gonna sell it for cheap. Hopefully someone will buy it. And I came in and bought it, and I literally bought all the pyrite, all the pyrite. Real mercenaries that needed to know why the why are they needed? Why are they needed, Cap? Because even you know what I mean, like the large entities have gotten so large that they can kind of just muscle their way into things. I imagine, right? We'll see. I definitely want to. I definitely want to start covering. Um, not like Pravi markets at least, and um, for what it's worth, hopefully that will maybe entice some people to contribute to giving you guys the Gnostic market picture. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see what else. I think that's really it before we go to our picks. Yep, that's it. All right, so I'm gonna go to our picks for the week, and we're starting off with our buys. Geckos. Geckos look real good right now. It's coming off a crest right now, and it's got buy signals. It's starting to move sideways, so this might be a good time to actually enter into this stock. If you buy it now, so where does this end at? So that's like 81, 82. Okay, right, 82. Okay, 82 to 86. That's probably not much in there right now. Yeah, not much profit there. Could you could this potentially hit 90 again? Probably, probably. No reason not to. It's hit it. It's hit it before. It's hit it like three other times, or one, two, three, in a 90-day period. So it's possible they'll hit it again. Yeah, if you can afford to wait on this, I'd get geckos. I would get geckos. All right, next I've traded geckos before, man. So right now I'm using actually a Gila for ratting in Provi. I really want to get my rattlesnake. Rattlesnake and geckos. Rattlesnake and geckos, so nice, man. It's so lazy mode. I love it. So good. So good. All right, next item, guys. All right, so as you can see from graphics down there, we got a whole lot of polymers. So polymers is the processed Tech 3 gas clouds. Okay, so these are wormhole products. Okay, so I'm going to start off with fullerene intercalcated graphite. All right, fullerene intercalcated graphite. These are really long names. So this isn't raw materials. So these are taking, one or two raw wormhole gas cloud, processing them, and then what spits out are these items. Okay, this whole process of taking this whole process of reactions has been replaced by the moon refineries. All right, so what does that mean? Basically, the lack of new stock entering the market that's going to be experienced in the Tech 2 side will also be experienced in the Tech 3 side, but which has more potential for just not it's not a real crunch on supply because it's still sitting in people's hangars. I'm not sure how comparable that is to the Tech 3. Because when I was in wormhole, I was in wormhole space for a while. A lot of times, I found myself doing this too. Like I would just build Tech 3 ships and the subsystems just as a way to compress. I never really held on to stuff. Like the idea of holding on to my polymers, the idea of holding on to the gas clouds or anything in wormhole was kind of silly because you never know when you're going to get attacked. So unlike nullsec people, wormhole people actually run very low on product inventory as a matter of practice, unless they're the biggest dudes in the block, that is, of course. And there are way less big dudes in the block in the wormhole scene than they are in the nullsec scene. So I think the kind of the scare of oh my god, there's no stuff to build with. I think that's actually going to be more prevalent in the Tech 3 side of the market versus the Tech 2. I don't think anyone's ever actually talked about that, which is a shame because it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious. But then you're not really going to come to that hypothesis unless you have lived the wormhole life for a good portion of your time, right? So we'll see. So that's definitely something to look at. We all kind of have an idea of how the Tech 2 stuff's going to roll out. I'm actually personally more curious about the Tech 3 stuff. All right, Gecko's looking good. Fullerene intercalcated graphite. It's just like legit sideways. It's been sideways for a while. I would buy into this because I see no reason that it will go down. So, big spike today. So a big spike with a relative to the resolution of the graph of a large actual outlier. So what does that mean? People bought it up from sell orders because of what we just talked about. Which is kind of funny because this is such a late move, but it actually, there's still time. I am 2Pro96 says, if you were to tell people what to buy right this moment, what would it be for short-term profit? I think within a 2-week turnaround, I think a very, very conservative outlook on not necessarily raw materials, but intermediate materials used to produce components. I think in the 5 to 10% range is very viable. So the tactic of buying from of acquiring from sell orders to hold on to it and wait, and then dumped back into the new sell orders that are going to be, or the new sell orders that are going to be posted. Or sorry, the new buy orders that are going to be posted should net you like 5 to 10%, you know. So instead of a buy to sell, what normally what the trading cycle is, right? Even doing the opposite, sell to buy, because the general value should increase just by virtue of fundamental analysis. I think 5 to 10% is very conservative. Someone looking for instant answers. But we can kind of talk our way into a very reasonable hypothesis, though, can't we, Cap? We've been doing it for a while now, like legit. We've been super accurate. We've been collectively super accurate. It's crazy. The caveman asked, "Do you offshore trade from a Citadel or do it in Jita?" I offshore from the Eve Mogul Sotillo from New Caldari. It's not a 0% market, but it's near zero. It's like 0.2, I think. I just don't believe in 0% market for Azars. I don't believe in it. I think it's silly to me. It's silly to me that that's even a thing. At least in Empire, I don't believe that should be the case in Empire. Do I market manipulate? Define market manipulate. What do you mean? I don't have the. I outright do not have enough funds to manipulate a market. I'll tell you that right now. I do not. When I was younger in this game, I thought I did, but I was very clearly mistaken. Cap. Yeah, I mean, no service should ever go unpaid. I was unpaid for my investment services for a while. From an ISK perspective, I was very poorly paid because I just wanted to give back to my investors. Like, it's my way of saying thank you. Just the fact that they were giving me their money to play with, that was actually payment enough. They were giving me ammo. Giving me ammo. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I got a beer on that one. All right, so yeah, I don't see fullerene intercalcated graphites going down. I don't. I don't see any of this Tech 3 stuff going down. They look really good right now. Warzeal asks, can you analyze the core X-Type 100 MN afterburner price development so far? Say, look. 100 MN afterburner. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever used that item. Core X-Type 100. It's all It's all sell orders. That's all sell orders. It's flattened out though. So all this is being acquired from the sell order end, and this is just natural correction right here. Is this a nice floor for this item to sit in? It's really tough to say with very low volume items. So this item very rarely in a 90-day period hits 25 trades in a day. So being, you know, 1 to 3 trades a day off really skews the charts, unfortunately. But I think right now, if you wanted to buy into this, I don't think there's enough evidence to say buy into this. I don't think there's enough evidence to buy into this with the assumption that it's going to go back up again. Not based on charting. But if you know folks who use this, I think you can make a better call than I can as a charts guy. 299 to 327. Good lord. That's flippable. but at only less than 25 a day though. Oh my god, that's so scary. It's so scary. I am 2 Pro says, how did you make most of my how did I make most of my money then? over the long run, I was I think I earned for myself after having paid off the varying 5 to 10, 15% per week to my investors. I probably kept to myself, I don't know, 1 to 2% a week. But I did that for like 8 to 10 months though. So over a long run, 2% a week at the top end of a little bit over 100 billion ISK managed. Yeah, it ended up being a lot, but considering I made my investors way richer than I ever became. 5 to 15%. Yeah, that's a good range. That's a good range. Anything less isn't worth. Yeah, it's you gotta find what's comfortable for you, man. You gotta find what's comfortable for you, and you really only get to be comfortable by failing at it a few times. Because you're trying to find that sweet spot. Like right now, I'm super comfortable trading faction warfare related items, like Navy faction items. I can just look at the chart. You don't even have to tell me what the item is. I could probably actually tell you what the item is based on the chart appearance. Like honestly. 6 is a good trade. Yeah, 6 is a really good trade. I've been living off sub 5% forever. That's my standard, sub 5%. Do I follow the faction warfare cycle? Absolutely, absolutely. However, the tier control doesn't quite 100% reflect the prices, because the prices ultimately the prices have to go on the actual supply and demand, not necessarily their value. You kind of have to burn off the stock of the item, right? And faction warfare items tend to be very saturated markets to begin with. It's a great buy order market as opposed to a sell order market. Yeah, like AK man. I mean, I think like a month ago, like for 2, 3 episodes straight, all we did was like faction warfare stuff. All we did is faction warfare. How do the big traders make their is then? It can't just be sub 5%, right? The big traders. No, it's the big traders got there because they were super patient. They would make moves that where you would have to wait literal months, if not years, to cash out. This is the nature of the game, you know. Like eventually, almost everything will increase in value, right? Even if it's just a little bit, at some point in their history. Just gotta wait. It's like, are those on my YouTube? Yep, they sure are. They sure are. It's tough, man, because the way I title my YouTube channel, my YouTube episodes, they're just like simple episode, blah 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 blah, right? You can just kind of skim through them. But eventually, given enough time, I'll eventually find myself talking about the faction warfare items. Big traders, either speculator, have lots of orders. Yeah, I'm definitely like, am I still a trader? Yes, but I'm more of I trade in the commodities of real people's real skills. I don't really do like traditional market stuff anymore. I have other people make money for me. I just give them fake space bucks. It's better. It's easier. Like buybacks, that's all buybacks are. I'm selling convenience, right? Not trading. I'm selling convenience. I am guaranteed profit by doing a buyback program. Or you should be guaranteeing yourself profit if you're doing a buyback program. I am pro says, so at a time like right now, when there are no long-term things to gamble on, what would you do? What makes you think there are no long-term things to gamble on? There are always long-term things to gamble on. That's where you kind of have to be creative, right? Or a little bit of creativity and a little bit of like some deeper level of understanding of the game that can kind of project yourself forward a few months, if not years. Like The people that do PI, they've been making a killing in the last 9 months. Caps' bankers always win. Yeah, man. I've basically been playing bank. That's basically a kind of. That's a good. I think that's a simple way of describing my transition from same day from day flip, from day trading type of trader, just flipping buy to sell, to doing that at a larger scale, to helping finance people to do their projects. And now doing that in nullsec at the regional level, and probably is a really good place to execute that kind of stuff, honestly, because you don't, like right now in the open market, you're probably really only competing against me and 5 other guys. Like honestly, like, and by competing I mean like, the guys that got like a few billion just sitting in inventory, not dudes that buy and sell like loot items. No, not those guys. I'm talking about like finished products type of guys. Just probably only like, at least that I know of. I mean, that's in the open public market, right? I'm sure there's way more players that have way deeper pockets at the contract level, which I'm not playing right now. But from what I can tell from the open market, I'm probably the most active force in there right now, because I'm not even really having to update my orders, and they stay top for a while. Flex is a nice long-term investment. Yeah, it is. Kind of has to be, right? All right, where are we at here? Actually, this has been some really good kind of off-topic stuff. It's good stuff. All right, next one we're gonna look at is graphene nanoribbons. We're still on the buy, guys. So very similar to the fullerene intercalcated graphite. It's going sideways for a long while, and it's hitting this point where the moving averages are just meeting, and like fundamentally I do not see the value going down, because from an assembly line perspective it can't go down, because we can't create more of this stuff, at least for the next week or two. I'd buy this. I'd definitely buy this. If I was more liquid, this is the sucky part, man. I'm actually very liquid right now, but I'm holding on to my liquid to get my Rhea built. It's bad timing. This is really, really bad timing. People have been saying the Plex market was going to go bust since its inception. Is that is that are those comments born out of intimate knowledge of how Plex works, or just one of those like, oh, it doesn't feel right, it should, like it should fail? You know what I mean? I'd be very careful, like taking in advice like that, because they're probably more subjective more than anything. And I'm not really like the inflation argument, like I try not to even bother me. Like it's a game. I just look at the charts, bro. I look at the sentiment, and I talk to people. Like, what do they feel about these items? So another buy item for the graphene nanoribbons. And all right, so those are all our buys. So 3 things to buy. For our cells, we're basically going to be continuing with our polymers. Our first cell we're going to call out is the lanthanum metallofullerene. This is an easy call. I'm not sure how much more time you have on this though. That's the only thing I'm kind of weary about. So it was literally flat for nearly 90 days, and then shut up. Why did it shoot up? Because people went, oh crap, we can't process any more of this stuff. Refineries are coming out, and we don't have the VPOs yet. Nice. Oh yeah, we'll see. I mean, is it about to crash down? It's probably. I think it's gonna go sideways, not really crash down, but it's gonna be at an elevated new base compared to what it was the last 80 plus days. Such an outlier though. These are really hard outlier numbers, but the volume is very very striking, right? Lots big buys, big buy today, big buy today on 32. See, that's kind of funny with these processed materials. The order value is actually really low, but per order is really large. I wish there was a way to break that down. Buy orders isn't even. Ooh, that's really interesting. The buy orders actually isn't even the full page anymore. I wonder if that. I wonder actually if that's normal. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know. All right, next item for cells: scandium metallofullerene. So this is actually pretty interesting. This is definitely way more developed than the other chart appearances because this one actually the median actually has already gone down below the 20-day moving average. So this will actually like you. I'm still calling this a sell because it is an elevated price compared to say if you got it around this value. But if you were to, this is definitely a sell only. Like I wouldn't buy into this right now at all. Like I would actually wait because it looks like you're about to hit a like a Black Friday sale period here for this thing. Definitely still sellable. Definitely still, but definitely not flippable though. The other items have some flip potential in the near future. This one, who knows? Who knows? When you see something with such an accelerated price rise, it's hard to say when it starts going the other opposite direction, like when it stops. It's really hard to say when it stops. You have to kind of actually watch it. All right, and our last item for sales, guys, the Machariel. So we call the sell for the Machariel. We're going to continue to call the sell for Machariel. We've already seen this chart. Calling it as a sell again simply because when we called it, it was the trajectory was actually like going upward, but now it's going sideways really really high. Like it's not even really correcting itself. It's just went really high and then just going side. It's not even going down to correct. It's just staying up there. So is this in preparation for physical attacks on refineries that are being created and installed game wide right now? Probably. Are Machariels really good for that job? I think so. I think they are. I really, really think they are. As a mainline DPS ship, yeah, because it's been Machariels online for a while now. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how the picture holds up. But I think you're gonna see a lot of broken Machariels out there in the near future. I'm very surprised it went sideways. Very, very surprised it went sideways. But at that price level, at 600 mil up, at 600 mil up for a single Machariel hull, is that reasonable? Is that a reasonable price point for a main DPS line boat? For a main DPS ship? Maybe a bit much. It's definitely not feasible to give alphas. Not at that price. No way. No way. I mean, fitting a Machariel on the cheap sides of accommodate alphas, that sounds really silly to me. Unless you're just that rich. All right, I think we went a little bit longer, but that's okay. Great to see some good numbers today here, guys. I really, really appreciate it. So what am I? So what's to expect in the next few weeks? I think. I mean, the time for speculation is over. the stuff is here now. There's no more speculation. What should you expect, or at least start thinking about? Start thinking about the actual stock that's going into the market right now. They're not gonna be new harvests, right? They're gonna be stored dusty stuff, right? Are things gonna go really wild as far as pricing? Yeah, but I think it's gonna be way shorter term than a lot of people think. Good or bad? I mean, that depends, right? Uh, I think things are gonna look very flippable, like from buy to sell, very comfortably in the next week or so. I think people are gonna get complacent and get caught once the price starts correcting. And why do I say this? I say this because the last type of kind of unprecedented event that I heavily traded in that exhibited those market behaviors was actually World War B. Like, I made most of my money for my investors on Machariels, on the backs of Machariels. I made many people rich on the backs of Machariels. Yeah, when we're seeing that kind of unprecedented events in the game, it's very easy to kind of just ride the wave, but eventually that wave is going to crash down. Don't be there when it crashes down. It will. It will eventually. I was like, buys, Max and Hurricanes. Actually, Hurricanes look really weak, man. I'm glad actually someone mentioned that. I really thought Hurricanes would be way stronger by now. The issue is super flat, for one. Super flat. One Hurricane, yeah, see, it's going down. Yeah, not sure what that's all about. I really thought it'd be better, right? Yeah, it's just not. Let's look at Maelstrom's though. Hit yeah, it was just moving sideways. No living, yeah, no man. All right, so things to expect, at least from our presentations here. I'm gonna start giving better pictures of Providence. Um, I think I'm gonna give myself just a few more weeks trading just to kind of have a better feel for things. And I'm gonna be starting my own buyback program there as soon as my RIA is done. And I just want to let you guys know how it goes. I definitely want to do a video, like an instructional on buyback programs and stuff like that. I think a lot of people, from my experience, supporting operators, going to that business, not having the right expectations of that type of gameplay. Oh, where am I located, caveman? I'm actually in Providence. I'm in ULI Federation, and I was just talking about the ULI Federation Academy. Actually, it's like a group that kind of gets folks situated a little better for our group via a nullsec alliance, or being doing a group that's in high sec and then transitioning to nullsec. So I was like, no one's really blowing shit up again. Cap, we're just in that phase, man. We're just like. Like I think we're too diplomatic. We're too diplomatic. And people, even on the PVE losses, I think I imagine it's way smaller now than say 5 years ago. All right, but that's really all I got, guys. Glad to see big numbers tonight, and I will definitely get this on YouTube. Probably slight delay. Because I'm gonna have to get this video straight from Twitch, so that takes a while to actually get, especially for things that run over an hour. But hopefully, folks, because like man, the last 2-3 weeks for sure, we've made some really great calls. So hopefully, you guys discovered some stuff this week and take advantage of it. A lot of times, there's times it makes me believe that there's probably the number of traders like active traders in the game are just steadily declining. But I don't know. That's probably good for the rest to stick around. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I wish I could play with the liquid that I have in, but I can't. I gotta pay for this Rhea. So, ooh. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, and I'll get this up on YouTube probably as early as tomorrow because I gotta do some edits on it. All right. Hey, thanks again, guys. We'll see you next week.